Hey, how's it going? No, it's fine. I just, got my desk cleared off, getting ready to do some work. What's going on? Yeah. Huh. Well, did you try jiggling it? Works for me every time. Yeah, just try that. Call me back if it doesn't work. All right, bye. Oh, come on. Okay, this is totally my fault, and it always is my fault. I'm the one who goes around my studio. I find the first open horizontal space I can get my hands on, and I start to work there. And I work there, and then I go to the next one and the next one until my whole shop is full, and then I'm forced to stop what I'm doing and put things away so that I can use the space again. And it's been like that forever. I'd really like to have a space where I get to do my brain work, where my brain can calm down and just worry about what I'm doing and not about all the stuff that's around me. And I've struggled with a way to figure out how to do that. But I am gonna try something. And I'm drawing some inspiration from the time that I worked on airplanes. And let me see. These are not really from aircraft, there's more novelty. But this is the same concept where they have these tags and they're meant to be highly visible and a reminder. You can't miss it. What I'm thinking about even more specifically is they'll often paint right on the surface of the aircraft if there's something specific to that part of the aircraft that needs to be remembered, like not to walk on it or don't press this button or things like that. They're just very explicit. It's like remove before flight. It's not ambiguous. I'd like to use this concept of this nudge reminding me to keep my desk free of clutter. And I think what I want to do is put the words "keep clear" on my desk. And I like this because it's very clearly telling me to not put stuff on my desk. And it's also kind of a nice nod to just remember to keep clear and be focused, be here, be in the now, to be in the moment, to not have your brain cluttered also. I think what I'd like to do is a resin inlay, which would mean I need to route out each of the individual letters on the desk, fill those with resin, and then resurface the top. This desk has followed me around for the past 15 years. It's pretty dinged up and could use a little love. So I think this is a good time to both think about doing the letters and maybe make some repairs. Okay, let's clean up this mess so we can get a good look at the table and make decisions about what we're gonna do next. All right, well, here it is. I have a few bad spots. There's some burn marks in the corner, a little water damage, some cracks that are starting to form, as well as this plate. And as you can see, the tolerances here are indicative of my early career. I think I'd like to just eliminate this altogether. I don't use it very often anyway. So I have a bunch of maple scrap that I think is close enough in its color and its grain that I can add it in and it'll blend in pretty well. So I think the plan will be to route out the individual areas that need to be fixed, replace them with the new maple, and then resurface the table in preparation for doing the routing of the letters. So it started to dawn on me that this project is going to take a while and that I kind of need my desk. So I think I'm going to have to find a new top that I can put on top of this temporarily while we're working on the other desktop. I think this is going to be my chance to rough out some letters. I'm going to do a layout with some tape. You know, I could lay all this out with a bunch of math, but I think I just kind of want to see how it's going to look real sort of quick and dirty. So I think I'm just going to start from the middle and work my way out. Resin. That's what the problem is. Well, I can honestly say that I'm not super excited about the block letters. I don't know, this just feels a little off to me and I wish it looked better. But I still am excited about the idea, so we're gonna move forward. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a photograph of this without the letters on it, and then I'll put it in the computer and I can place different kinds of letters on top and see which ones look the best. And then if I find one that I like, I can just use that letter, as long as it's a vector graphic, to cut with the CNC. This is my Shaper Origin, and it's essentially a handheld CNC machine. And I'm definitely going to be using this to carve the letters into the surface of the tabletop. However, it makes such accurate cuts that I'm also going to use it to cut out the rectangular areas where I want to replace the old maple with new maple. So let's get into that now. You sure you got the ratios right? No, it's a 1-to-1 mixture. I did it right. Well, what about the color bleeding through the sides? That's happened before. Okay, that's a good point. Maybe we should do a test. All right, let's do that. Okay, so I'm definitely going to make the letters black, and to do that I have a couple of options. I have an additive that is specifically for changing the color of the resin to black, and I've used it in the past and it works pretty well. It can leave a little halo around the edge where the pigment soaks into the wood grain, and I don't want that to happen here. I've also seen some other YouTubers use graphite in their resin, but I've never tried that before. So I think what I'm going to do is a test. I've routed out a couple of areas here. I'll try graphite in one, the additive in the other, and we'll just see how they turn out. That way I don't have to make a mistake on the tabletop. I can make the mistake here. Well, of course, no job would be complete without a minor mistake. Unfortunately, the router gouged out a little piece here. Must have just got hung up in something hard and shifted to one side. I had toyed around with just maybe sanding this and to mellow it out, but I think that would be really noticeable against all these sharp parallel lines. I did remember that I was using a 1/4-inch bit here to cut these letters, and I have a 1/4-inch piece of dowel laying around, and I know this is not the same material, but I think that it's enough that I can use this to glue into that area and then just shave off and basically fill that hole, and I think it'll blend in real nice. So here's the results of our test. I mixed this one with the UV color and this with the graphite, and you can see pretty clearly right here the UV starts to bleed through. It's literally wicking inside of the pores of the wood. The graphite came out much better. I sanded this down so it would be flush with the surface, and I'm not sure whether or not I'm able to, if it's actually pulling graphite out, which would not be good either. I don't want to set stuff down on the table and get black smudges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the letters like 90% of the way full with the graphite mixture, and then I'll pour just clear over the top of that. So I switched gears a little bit and I decided to just use shellac to seal up the inside of the letters. That way when I pour the resin with the graphite in it, the sides will be sealed, and so the graphite can't leach off into the sides and create that little halo effect. I did check with the internet and they said that that is a common practice, so my instincts were good. Luckily I have shellac laying around the studio all the time. It's one of my favorite finishes for wood, mostly because I like the way it looks, but also because it dries really fast and I'm just lazy. So it's a little past 9 o'clock, kids are finally in bed, and I've got a little bit of time, and what I want to do is I want to get the black part of the resin poured so that that can start to cure. First thing I need to do is I'm going to level the table so that I don't end up with an uneven pour, and then I'm just going to mix some resin and start pouring letters. Now we sand. Well, here it is, it's finally done. And I gotta say, it's working exactly as advertised. Right now, this thing is so nice to me that I actually don't want to put anything on it. But ultimately, it's doing its job. It's reminding me that this is a sacred space, that I've drawn my line in the sand and that I'm holding my ground. And I will keep the clutter off my desk, hopefully. There's a few things that I would do different. Some of the repairs came out really well. But I wish I had oriented some of the wood better. Some of them are very obvious. Luckily, that one is going to be underneath my monitor, so no one's ever going to see it. You know, there's a few pinholes in the resin, And I toyed around with the idea of like filling each one, but at the end of the day, this is gonna be my desk, so I tried not to overthink it. Ultimately, this channel was meant for me to explore the idea of making a product, something that I could prototype and perfect and bring to market, so to speak. And obviously, I don't think that this falls into that category. And about halfway through the build, I kind of came to that realization. But I also realized at the same time that I think I'm doing this one for me. Starting this channel has been a big leap for me, and while this desk has seen a lot of my past, I feel like this new iteration is a clean slate for the future, and I like that. I'm sorry we didn't make a product. I promise we'll do better next time, but I'm still happy. I'm happy that everybody's gonna get to see this in future videos. Perhaps this will inspire some of you to find a way to claim your space. Maybe this is an extreme way to go about that, but I still think it's pretty cool. As always, if you like what's going on here, remember to push all the buttons, and we'll see you in the next video. And remember, keep clear.